If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What he is trying to do and what ICE raids and knocking down doors are about is to make all of you afraid.
That's
You're
right.
a federal employee, don't speak up. You're a government official, don't speak up. You're in a law firm that somehow had clients taking on Trump, don't speak up because they're going to punish you. You are on CNN, we're going to sue you if you ask the wrong questions. My friends, what this is about is a movement toward authoritarianism, intimidating us all.
Republicans have been appealing to audiences, especially young people like myself, online using social media. Why does Republican messaging on social media seem so much more effective than Democratic messaging, and what can we do about it?
Well, that's a great question. I think the Republicans are effective. They have learned a lot about social media. And by the way, it doesn't hurt that their friends own all of the major social media platforms. You know, Bezos owns Twitter or X. Zuckerberg owns Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. Mr. Ellison is going to own you pretty soon. I think he's going to take over CNN, not to mention CBS. So these guys have, you know, they can use algorithms now.
They can use algorithms. Jeff Bezos owns X, Twitter. Really? Does Elon know that? That's going to come as a shock to Elon Musk. Amazon owns. Yes, my friends, welcome to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. That was from the Commie Town Hall last night on CNN. Be nice, James. Don't say three commies were there, because Kaitlan Collins was the hostette. And it was AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're friends. They own all the social media. Jeff Bezos owns... Since when are Jeff Bezos and Trump friends? And I would hardly call the relationship between Zuckerberg and Trump friends. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that was part of it. You have AOC, of course, was there with Bernie Sanders. And we have some cuts from it. There's some other things in the news as well. Immigration is back in the headlines today in a big way. We've had some rulings, and we've had action. Yesterday I had a story I did not get to, and I wonder if I held on to that soundbite too. I did. Cut to 21, Carlos. Let's go with that. Carlos, by the way, is just, this guy, he's ready for a stand-up routine. I asked, we were looking around before the show. Like, what should we play? What music do we have that we can play today? Anniversaries, so forth, birthdays, whatever. And it turns out that Liam Payne of One Direction transitioned on this day in Argentina. He left out of a window, third-floor window at the Casa Sur Hotel in Palomero in Buenos Aires. And Carlos said, well, he jumped out of the window. I said, did he jump or did he fall? And Carlos, what did you ask me?
I said, what's the difference?
And then you made I can't even get into, because then we started talking about One Direction, and Carlos had some remarks to say about the direction that this whole story took, and we're not going to go there. Because it was... Anyway, you can figure it out. One Direction. And, okay, we don't even have any One Direction, so we're just acknowledging right now this is a sad day in music history because we didn't have any One Direction as it turned out to play for you. So, anyway, let's get with that cut that I asked for, please. Carlos, let's just...
LA County has declared a state of emergency over the immigration raids. The Board of Supervisors voted today. Board members say the raids are preventing people from going to work and forcing some businesses to close. The emergency allows the board to look at enacting an eviction moratorium and other protections for people impacted by the raids. And this news just coming into our newsroom. Will, of course, continue to follow it.
So that's, yes, Los Angeles is now in a local state of emergency. The entire city, because federal law enforcement are doing their jobs and they are collecting folks for deportation that do not belong in the country. Left-wing supervisors on the Board of Supervisors out in Los Angeles, 4-1 vote. The city is going to take all necessary emergency actions to protect and stabilize communities impacted by federal immigration enforcement. We have entire families who are destitute because their fathers or mothers were taken from their workplaces. The communities have been gripped by fear, pain, and disorder, Supervisor Holly Mitchell said. Now, what they want to do is make the legal residents pay for all of this. So, for instance, if you own a property, an investment property in Los Angeles, they're going to go back to like those COVID days, kind of, where, you can just stay and don't pay your rent and you can't be evicted. Those are the things that they're talking about doing. Of course, who cares that the landlords actually have to cover the cost of their own mortgages, that legal people working legally are going to pay for all of this and whatever else they come up with to support their illegal population. Again, American taxpayers will end up, and I'm sure some illegals too, end up paying the cost of this citywide emergency because ICE is doing its job. Now, at the Commie Town Hall last night on CNN, you heard Bernie Sanders, our opening soundbite today. ICE raids are designed to make people afraid. They're designed to deport illegal immigrants. That's all they're designed for. They're designed to make you afraid. They're designed to make sure that if you're in the media, you better not speak up because, they're coming for you. It's insane. And let's get to the AOC bites because AOC was also equally insane. We're not going to play the full thing. It runs 4 minutes and 34 seconds here. But cut 3. Asked about American tax dollars, should your tax dollars be used to fund the health care of illegal immigrants? This is Kaitlan Collins, along with the two commies, Kaitlan and the two commies, AOC and Bernie Sanders. And this is what it sounded like.
I want to bring in Jill Ireland, who is a Democrat who works in insurance. She's from Santa Barbara, California, and her question is appearing via video tonight.
Hello. My question is, do you think that taxpayers should be paying for the medical care of immigrants that are in the country illegally? Thank you.
Well, we already know, and this is a common lie that Republicans have been repeating, that this shutdown is about Democrats trying to provide health care to the undocumented. And we already know that it is federal law and federal statute that undocumented people cannot be covered by the ACA, they cannot be covered by Medicaid, they cannot be covered by Medicare. Period. That is the law of the land. There are plenty of federal laws on the books. Now, the vice president has been trafficking this other misconception, saying that the emergency Medicaid program is providing health care to undocumented people. That too is a complete, just, I don't even know, whole cloth storytelling, we should say. The truth of the matter is that we have a federal law, as it should be, that any person who walks into a hospital in desperate need of medical attention receives that medical attention regardless of their insurance status and regardless of who they are. And I don't know about you, but me as a human being, I don't want to live in a world where if a human being is struck by a car or is getting rushed into a hospital, that the people in the ER surgical room are asking for your insurance information or asking for documents before they save your life.
But can I ask you on this to follow up? Because you said that it is federal law that people, undocumented immigrants, can't get Medicare, Medicaid, the Obamacare subsidies. Do you believe that should be the law, though? Or do you think undocumented immigrants should have access to federally funded health care?
I believe personally that health care is a human right. I believe that every person should be able to go to the doctor. But I believe that right now, federal law is the federal law. And that absolutely, that U.S. citizens and people who pay into our programs deserve to be covered by these programs. And
okay, that's enough. And I just want to add something. And that's another news story. And that broke today. And Dr. Oz accuses Democrats of gaslighting Americans over $1 billion in Medicaid payments to illegal immigrants. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz announced Thursday, that would be today, folks, that an internal review uncovered more than $1 billion in Medicaid payments to illegal immigrants across several states. A problem, he says, the Trump administration is now moving to correct it. Democrats have been gaslighting us on this issue of Medicare funds going to illegals for quite a while. Health care for illegal immigrants has been a major issue, prolonging the latest government shutdown, now entering its third week. Republicans accuse Democrats of allowing federal health dollars to go to illegal immigrants while standing in the way of efforts to cut government waste. Oz said his agency's investigation into the topic is just getting started, and the latest figure only covers a few states. If you live in Texas, Florida, you're paying U.S. federal taxes, most people do, your money is being diverted to places like California who have robust benefits for illegal immigrants. Now we're investigating it, and we're going to continue to track this across the country. And one of the things I might note, you notice that Kaitlan Collins did not follow up the question on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez assertion that there's emergency care that's given, because that's the federal law. And the natural question to ask, well, who pays for that? And nobody bothered to ask her, who is paying for that emergency care? Where are the receipts? So you see, she's quick to call people liars, or as she says, major falsehoods. But the facts are that she is incorrect. And we've known this for quite some time, but the evidence just keeps on coming in. Incorrect. Illegal immigrants, for the 100th time, are getting your tax dollars for their health care. And Democrats will never answer the question, who pays for the emergency care? How are the hospitals made whole for all of the illegal immigrants that come in that get emergency care according to the law that they are entitled to because of the law? James Golden, Snerdley, coming back. More on this, the fastest hour in American media. Whatever you do, stay right there. Do not go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yeah, I do want to get to some other things today, but I don't want to leave this, the CNN Commie Town Hall. Before we get to this, AOC was asked about, well, it's self-explanatory. Cut 7, Carlos.
Trump believes that if you don't vote for him, he doesn't have to be your leader. That if you didn't vote for him, that you don't deserve good things to happen to you. I don't care if someone voted for me or not. I don't care if someone is a Republican or an independent or a Democrat. I don't care if someone likes me or not. That will never change the fact that I'm going to fight for them to have health care. I want MAGA to have health care. I want MAGA to be paid a living wage. But he doesn't want people who are Democrats, or he doesn't want people based on their political affiliation to benefit. And that is the difference between a strongman and an authoritarian and a leader of a democracy.
Well, you know what? If you asked, as we have been listening to the remarks from people down in Memphis, black people, all people down there. In fact, I saw a little video today. I didn't play. I didn't add this to the list. Of a little boy talking about how grateful he was to be able to go out and play. Little black guy, kid. It's really clear that these remarks are not true. It should be go without saying. I mean, look, all the moves Donald Trump is making to restore the economy in the United States, that benefits everybody. The safety that Democrats have ignored in their neighborhoods and their hellhole blue cities for 30 years benefits everybody. This is just more rot gut. So, anyway, we're coming back. We've got a lot more. Whatever you do, keep it right here. Fastest hour in American media continues.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, so the Rush used to refer to him as Da Nang Dick. That would be, because his name's Richard, Senator Richard Blumenthal. Richard Blumenthal's whining. You remember, because we played it here the first day that it was released, the Ice Barbie video that Ice Barbie created so that, and I say that lovingly, because I love Kristi Noem. And that name that they've given her, Ice Barbie, I like it. I like the name Ice Barbie. So anyway, the name that the Ice Barbie video that is supposed to be played in American airports. When I first heard it, I said, you better believe that there are some airports that are going to refuse to play this. And to refresh your memory, here is Ice Barbie, Kristi Noem's video when the shutdown began.
Hi, I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
Well, Da Nang Dick don't like that. Here he is.
If you're traveling and going to an airport, Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, wants you to be part of her captive audience. In fact, she has a little propaganda piece blaming Democrats for the shutdown. It's not only inappropriate, it's illegal for her to use those TSA monitors to spread her personal political propaganda. And that's why I am demanding that she stop browbeating airports into aiding and abetting her illegal political campaign. And I'm sending her a letter, along with colleagues who are equally outraged, saying, no, you cannot use air travelers as your captive audience.
I'm thinking, have a letter. I'm big boy. I'm big boy. Darling, now I'm really mad. I'm going to send her a letter and demand that she stop these videos that she made. They're illegal. Okay, whatever. Big man, he's going to send a letter along with some of his. Ooh, a letter. All right, one of the most egregious, returning back to the commie town hall. This one, I tell you, is one of the most egregious that I have heard. And I wanted to hold on to it till we had time to play it. It's a little bit lengthy, but I want you to hear it all. Cut 6, Carlos. This, again, Kaitlan Collins of CNN, along with Bernie Sanders and AOC.
And it is clear to communicate that as an individual. Now, to the question earlier as well, when they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, they do not deserve equal rights. That they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman, that they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. And that is why they are resonating online, because they are appealing to the most basest and worst parts of human nature to divide us. And why to divide us? So that the same people who own those platforms, people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, that these people can continue to get away with highway robbery in tax cuts and in order to fleece all of our pockets, cut our health care, keep our wages low so that we remain fighting amongst ourselves while they make themselves richer. And so in order for us to fight back against that, we must be clear about what we believe, have strong beliefs, and also be completely unwilling to bow to that kind of division and stand in solidarity with one another, especially when it is someone whose culture is different from ours or whose background we may not entirely understand, but that we honor, love, and see as our fellow Americans.
Now, Republicans, according to Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Republicans believe that women are inferior. They are an inferior species and that they don't deserve equal rights. I have not met any of those Republicans in my years. I read about a few of them. There are 2 or 3 of them. Apparently, they were all hanging out together online at the young Republicans clubs in some of them. Not all, of course, young Republicans. Just a few of the rotten apples over there in New York, Arizona, Vermont, and somewhere else. But that's only a few. We're talking about millions and millions and millions, half the country. Out of that, you can give me a handful of people that have sort of abhorrent views, and they're just a handful. And you can find a handful of people from almost any huge universe of people that are the outliers. But as a majority, as an overwhelming majority, as a supernaturally overwhelming majority, Republicans don't believe anything of the sort, that women are inferior. It's stupid to say so. Republican men have wives. They have daughters. They love their wives. They love their daughters. It is insane. I just got news. We're going to need that thing, Carlos.
Breaking news.
Yes, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, while I open it up and read, John Bolton apparently has been indicted on, according to some sources, on the mishandling of classified documents. I'm sure there will be more on this as the story erupts, and it's been expected, by the way. And so this looks like it has come to fruition. Bloomberg is reporting.com. John Bolton has been indicted over the handling of classified documents. Breaking also now on Commie News Network that the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, has been indicted by a grand jury, according to CNN. It's about John Bolton's use of an email account with AOL, an email account where he was writing diary-like notes. I read that earlier today, too. And so the Bolton indictment, oh, goodness. At times he was sending apparently some of this classified stuff to his wife and even his daughter. That's one allegation being made. AOL, yeah, they're still around. I know people that still have AOL. Look, I still have an Earthlink address that I kept. But yes, AOL's still around. Apparently John Bolton's using it. Or was. So there's that. Anyway, back to this AOC thing. This idea that, by the way, every Republican is white, because she's pretty much saying that as an inference for her remarks. They want to pick on people that are darker than they, browner, from a different color. She must assume that all Republicans are white, which is a pretty racist thing for her to assume. And they're not. And Republicans don't do this. They believe LGBTQ are subhuman. That's not true. They don't agree with the indoctrination and sexualization of their children, especially in schools. But they don't have any animus toward people for choosing an alternative lifestyle, alternative sexual lifestyle. It's not true. But these are the tropes and the myths that Democrats spread consistently. So there you have it. There was also the commie remark when they finally asked her, and they had a full-blown, hysterical attack when she was asked about something that the Speaker of the House has been saying, that this whole shutdown is because Chuck Schumer's scared of her and wants to run. Oh, I thought this was kind of funny, too. Did you know that Speaker Mike Johnson had a temper tantrum today? You want to hear what it sounds like when the Speaker of the House has a temper tantrum? He had folks, I don't know whether you're going to be able to tolerate this. This guy had a full-blown. Mike Johnson went off. He lost his cookies. He had a full-blown eruption in front of television cameras. I've never seen it. Never seen anything like that. Never have heard anything like it from Speaker of the House, the soft-spoken Mike Johnson. We have it.
Together and build that consensus is not possible until we get the government operating again and we stop holding. I get very upset about that. We stop holding the American people hostage for these ridiculous political games. People see what's going on here. We should not have Border Patrol agents not paid right now because Chuck Schumer wants to pay political games to cover his tail. I don't know how much more simply to say that, and every single one of you know that's exactly what's going on. I don't like being mad, Mike. I want to be happy, Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this. God bless America. We're done. Thanks.
Wow. He doesn't want to be angry, Mike. He wants to be happy, Mike. And, yeah, he wants to be happy warrior, Mike. He doesn't like being angry. Play that again, because he really did lose it, folks. I mean, this is, wow.
Together and build that consensus is not possible until we get the government operating again and we stop holding.
Stop!
I get very upset about that. We stop holding the American people hostage for these ridiculous political games. People see what's going on here. We should not have Border Patrol agents not paid right now because Chuck Schumer wants to pay political games to cover his tail. I don't know how much more simply to say that, and every single one of you know that's exactly what's going on. I don't like being Mad Mike. I want to be happy Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this. God bless America. We're done. Thanks.
God bless America. Oh, Chelsea Handler has a new target. We have to get to that tomorrow. We won't have time. You know, there's the San Francisco judge, another one of these San Francisco judges has said Donald Trump cannot fire district judge, cannot fire federal workers, put a nationwide injunction. Robert Garcia had some remarks to say on CNN, but then what I love is the response that Caroline Leavitt had to it. I'm looking at the clock. We have enough time to get one, so I'm going to go with Caroline Leavitt. And she explains the situation with this lawsuit coming out of San Francisco, 16. Here's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Well, the White House believes this, John, because it's just the truth. The president is the head of the executive branch, and therefore he has the right to hire and fire executive branch employees. And unfortunately, the administration has taken the tough step to lay off thousands of workers across the federal government because the Democrats have selfishly chosen to shut our government down in the name of partisan politics. And now you have this far left district court Democrat appointed judge who literally just uses politics from the bench and has no legal rationale for this nationwide temporary restraining order. And she is now blocking the administration from doing what the Supreme Court has already affirmed the president of the United States can do. In fact, this very same judge out of liberal San Francisco in May illegally ruled that the administration and the president does not have the right to fire executive branch employees. And the Supreme Court smacked this judge down in July. She is wrong. She is doing this for political reasons. And the Democrats know that they can judge shop, they can court shop, they can go to this woman because she is a far left hack and she uses politics from the bench. We are very confident we are going to win this temporary restraining order, and the Trump administration will continue to try to fight through this shutdown and get the government back open so we can get people back to work.
I just love it, folks. Not only that, you know, Donald Trump is threatening to take away the World Cup games from Boston. And that has Michelle Wu upset, saying, okay, your city's not safe. Donald Trump today said he's canceling $16 billion the Hudson River Tunnel. He said it's terminated. Democrats are up in arms over that. Donald Trump, we're going to overhaul the IRS. Time to start looking at some of these leftist groups. They are upset over that. The Secretary of Transportation has told California no to $40 million because you guys are not enforcing the law over truckers, the English over only trucker rule, where they have to speak fluent English. So he's taking away $40 million from there. And these guys aren't playing. It's hardball. Time's running out. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Both Snerdley.
The following is a paid commercial announcement. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yeah, I mentioned very briefly, and this is New York Times, and you can just tell by the tone of the story, they are upset that Donald Trump says that the project, this Hudson River Tunnel project, which they call a vital infrastructure project, not just for New York, but for the entire Eastern Seaboard, is terminated. So you know the lawsuits are going to fly there. And I just love the way that Donald Trump is reacting to some of these people. Donald Trump today had a 2-hour telephone call with Vladimir Putin. They're going to meet in Budapest and try to find some resolve for the Russian-Ukraine war. In fact, he is meeting President Trump with Zelensky tomorrow. Mitch McConnell fell again today. And thank goodness he's all right. It's time, Mitch. We got to leave. We leave you with Bobby Gentry was number one back in 1969 on this day with Burt Bacharach and Hal David's song, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. May God bless. Protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude always for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing. We're back tomorrow for the it's Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.